So, what were you just saying about calories burned?
Running an hour and a half, I burned 1,300 calories, and riding for 2 hours, I only burned 700.
So we just need to ride harder.
Yeah, or just run more. Welcome to the Culture Edit. Unique perspectives into the personal and professional lives of individuals at the helm of successful business, athletics, art, and design. Welcome to the Culture Edit episode.
I think it's 88.
We're getting up there. Hold on.
It's my number in junior varsity football.
Yeah, 88.
88.
Why was that your number?
The position I played was very limited in the numbers that they would give us, and there was a guy, a senior. What is his name? He played the same position. He was really, really good, and he was dating my neighbor. So my neighbor, the girl I used to tell you that would
drive you to school.
That would drive me to school in the convertible. I thought was so cool. Anyway, that was his number, so I just wanted to be like him.
Aw,
He was really good.
that's cute.
I think his last name's Hightower, maybe. I don't know.
A lot of roads named Hightower.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Good old days.
So today we're recording Tuesday morning. We have a lot going on before we leave for our trip tomorrow. So we'll do a
Understatement of the century.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel pretty good. I've mostly got all my clothes laid out, and we got a lot of bike stuff to pack. That's the biggest stressor.
I don't feel any good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have lots of bike pack, lots of technical equipment because we are going to record when we are in Europe.
Yeah.
And lots of client work.
Yeah, the client work is stressing me out the most.
So, but we did get a ride in this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Can't complain.
I rode my gravel bike for the second time ever before we take off to go do the Traka 200-kilometer gravel race. So
I've only ridden mine
just
once.
dialing it in.
I only ridden mine once, so don't feel too bad.
No, you've ridden it on the road several times.
One time. Yeah.
Oh.
One time on the road, one time on the gravel.
Okay.
But it's fine. We'll survive.
Yeah.
PMA. But it's exciting.
It's just funny how some people they're obsessive over it, and how we've gotten to the point where we're just like, oh, it'll be fine.
Well, because at the end of the day, what I've realized with gravel is even if you do everything right and you try to make everything perfect, and so many things can happen the day of that, you get a flat or your chain
rings fall off.
Chain rings literally explode while you're climbing, and then you only have basically one gear for the rest of the race. But
PMA.
As long as you are going with the mindset, neither of us are fit enough to actually race, which is a little bit of a relief, because then we can just go in the mindset of trying to enjoy the ride versus stress about the race.
Yeah.
Because the last time I raced anything was one of probably BWR Asheville, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm trying to go in with a positive mindset. We have a lot of activities lined up, which we'll get into later in the podcast. But before we do that, we've had a really good past couple weekends. So let's see. Greenville was on last Thursday. Last Thursday, the Greenville race. That's part of USA Cycling.
USA Crits.
USA Crits.
Yep.
Sorry. It's very confusing because there's USA Crits and then there's Speed Week, and they're apparently separate, which I didn't know.
It is very confusing. I agree. I think Speed Week is still part of USA Crits.
But they're not on the website. It's very, very confusing. If you're listening, whoever's in charge of all of this out there, can we just streamline the process? Because people go to USA Crits to try and find the live streams. Some of them are on there, some of them aren't. Then there's speed.week.bike. Blah, 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 that you have other things on. Let's just streamline it,
Gene Dixon.
Isn't the goal to just have as many eyes on everything as possible? So let's just try and streamline this thing.
We could do some vibe consulting too.
Definitely.
Some announcer consulting.
But the races have been really fun. So Michael got third in Greenville, which was good.
He lapped the field with a group.
Yeah, lapped the field with a group.
Sprinted for third.
That's been the theme of Speed Week, is lapping the field.
Yeah. I mean, that happens a lot in crits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have effectively you got three groups of guys racing. You got the first third, I'd call it the first third, are actually racing. You've got the middle third, which are teammates of those guys that maybe can help some, depends on the situation, or if the race slows down, or maybe they can sacrifice themselves. And then you have the last third who are literally just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Their goal is I want to finish.
Yeah.
So it adds for quite the interesting dynamic when you watch these races. But for the people that aren't there, that are watching on the live stream, like, think about that, because that's what's happening when you only see the same group of guys at the front. It's because those guys are the only ones that are actually racing.
Yeah. It's funny because I just chuckled when you were explaining that, because my dad messaged me and was like, I still don't understand any, like, what you're talking about when you talk about bike stuff. So let's not like harp on the technical stuff that's happened in these races, because I think a lot of our listeners have no idea what we're talking about. But essentially, Michael did really well. Once they lapped the field, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. The field's going at a certain pace, they go, and then they're going so much faster that they come back around and they actually get back in with the main part of the group, which led into a sprint.
But it's not common sense, because common sense would then say, well, those 50 guys, 6 guys lapped the field, those 50 guys that just got lapped, they're a lap down.
Yeah.
But the rules actually don't put them a lap down. Now they're all in the same lap, right? Except for the 6 guys that lapped the field are the only ones that can place in those top 6. They're not gonna then sprint, and then the 50 other guys keep going for another lap.
But in like
that's very confusing.
But that's the same thing with cars. Like if in a car race they lap the field, they don't keep going after the. So let's say like Daytona 500. Like once they lap the field, the rest they don't keep going after that.
Yeah, they'd have to keep going. They don't. That doesn't really happen except for like races like Bristol, where the race is like really close. But they would still need to finish their last lap. Yeah,
okay,
they don't all go. It's the criterium. U.S. criterium racing is the only one that does it. It's really
it's a time saver.
Confusing. It's really like we're used to it, but I have a lot of people that are like, I don't understand why are the 50 guys that just got lapped? Why are they even still in the race?
Yeah,
like they just got lapped, so they should be a lap down. Technically, they are. Why are they then a factor in what happens? Because that's. Like Chisel messaged me. It's like, that's the one thing that we should change about criterium racing is when those 6 guys lap the field, the 50 other guys should not be a factor. Yeah. But they are. It's confusing. It's chaos. And that's what Michael does. It's like it turns into pure chaos after that.
But isn't that like kind of what people want? They want to watch the chaos?
Like we like the chaos, but I think it's very confusing for the average fan. Like it's like people that listen to our podcast are people that know Michael, and they just want to tune in. I think it's very confusing on what in the hell is happening in these races.
Well, I think the announcers
aren't doing a good job.
I was gonna say the announcers could clarify a lot, but they're not.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was a good race. Michael got third in a field sprint, which has been great for him this year because we've said it before, like he's not a traditional, like a true sprinter. So for him to sprint with some of these really true sprinters and get third place is great. Then leading into our aperitivo party on Friday, which was a huge hit. We had 50 RCPs. We probably I estimated about 35 people to 40 showed up.
I think through the night, over 50 people came through because you had people show up and leave and show up. And
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a hit. There was a lot. I mean, everyone showed up later than we thought. This is the thing is when we'll always try to have a 5 o'clock start because people say they don't want to stay out late, but then everyone just shows up at 7.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, we've experimented with everything.
I know it's just so hard.
Like Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Saturday afternoon. We've done it all.
Yeah, but I think that was the best turnout that we've had. So that was fun.
Great turnout. Amazing. Thanks to everyone that came.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We really appreciate you showing up, and everyone had a great time. Rachel did a great job being our bartender, serving the aperitivos, and I had a lot of questions about the food. That was also Rachel. So was it Toast by Rachel? Yeah,
Toast by Rachel. She does the charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
So the really pretty looking ones.
Yeah, the ones that no one wanted to mess up because it's so beautiful.
I kept telling her, I was go eat the food. Eat the food.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Making some tasty bites as well. So we had special guests and you gave a little talk and it was fun.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. We hosted Peta Mullins, who is a professional female racer from Australia.
Australia.
We've also determined that Chad and I cannot do an Australian accent, so I'm not even going to try.
We're gonna talk to Peter about that.
She's super cool, and we're actually we're recording an episode with her this afternoon because she's coming back into town. She's staying in Brevard while she's in the U.S. right now, and then she's been staying with us while she's doing some of the Speed Week races. So she was at the party. She's a super fun person, and yeah, we'll hear more from her and her kind of like crit racing experiences. She's more of like a crit veteran at this point.
So after the party, we realized we hadn't eaten dinner, so then we had to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
So think of so it was all day Friday, then
so we woke up at 5.
Yeah, woke up at 5, then all night. Then we had a ride we were hosting the next morning.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So we got a couple hours sleep. We did a ride. Some of us did a long ride. Some of us did a short ride. Then we had to flip it around and drive to Athens for the race.
Yeah, and then stayed up till 1 a.m. doing that too.
Yeah.
I don't like how late these races start.
Yeah,
they really need to push them up a little bit.
It's annoying.
So it was a fun weekend. Athens Twilight was insanity as usual. For those of you who don't know what Athens Twilight is, it's probably other than Tulsa Tough, which I think is like starting to rival Athens Twilight, it's the most iconic, longest standing crit in America. It's in Athens, Georgia, not Athens, Greece, for those that are confused. And it's right downtown in like the city center. So they shut down the downtown roads. They have a festival. They have food trucks. They have, the college kids are out from UGA. It's quite literally a party.
Yeah.
And then you have a bike race happening in the middle of all of the chaos as well.
And that's what makes it special. I mean, I think that's what makes Tulsa special too, is the community comes out to watch it. But Twilight's different. First of all, Tulsa's 3 days. Twilight's just one night. But it's because it's a college town that already loves to party. It's just another reason for them to party. It's a giant festival. And so you've got a, 1.5 kilometer circuit that, I'm not exaggerating, people are packed on both sides 10 deep all the way around. And everyone's having a lot of fun. Some people having more fun than others. So we wanted to, because it's effectively our hometown race, we wanted to do something special.
We wanted to make the party even more fun.
Yeah.
So we had a really fun, I actually don't remember how we came up with the idea for the horns.
Well, we were thinking about activation ideas, and we were like, what can we pass out? What can we do? You had the idea of having a special kit. So we're going to do a kit that stood out at night. So we revealed that, and you can go to our social media and you can see what that kit looks like. But it's effectively the same Tachyon Surge design that you made in green, but we turned it to purple, like a light purple, and then added white bibs. But it's a race suit, so it's basically the shorts are white. They actually had some people ask me why we didn't have logos on them. There are logos on them.
They just didn't turn out as well. Yeah, they didn't show up as much as we thought they were going to.
We thought it would reflect more off of the flashes. And I talked to Corey about that yesterday. Like we thought it would be more a reflection. But there are logos. They're covered in logos.
Yeah.
They're vinyl. You can't see them that well in the dark.
I wonder if we can do silver. Can they do reflective silver?
Yeah, we talked about that. But
that would look cool.
Then it's not going to match the jersey.
I don't know. I think it would still look cool.
So there was that, and then I think Michael actually came up with the idea of the vuvuzelas. Is that what
I don't know how to say it.
I think he thought of that.
They're those like stadium horns that became infamously famous, I guess, when it was the World Cup in Brazil, because it was like so loud that it was crazy.
I want people to know that this isn't like haphazard. Like we had a plan, basically starting from Wednesday, the day before, or Wednesday before Twilight, around what content was going to be created, when we're going to shoot it, when we're going to release it. We've been working with videographer Patrick Leonard, who's been amazing.
He's so good. It's so talented.
So during the week, we went out and shot a lot of content in the city of Atlanta. So we had and actually Patrick came up with the idea for this. We called it the sneak peek, which was you and Shannon sitting in front of the studio and Michael blasting by and purple paint goes all over you. That then went into a sneak peek. That sneak peek then was posted, I think, Thursday. Then Friday I mean, it was Friday. And then Saturday morning, we posted the actual video shoot, which took
Which
Michael,
was the kit reveal.
Kit reveal through the city of Atlanta. And we wanted it to feel very distinct. Like, we wanted it to feel Atlanta, and I think we did a good job. Started off, if you watch the video, make sure you notice this. We started off by him going by a very iconic location.
That none of us have ever been to.
We've only been outside. We've never been inside. And that was, that was happenstance because we happened to be shooting around that area. And I was like, I think we should start here. And so that was very intentional. And the music, the look, the feel, like Patrick did all that, just like completely blew it away. Then we had still photography of the kits at night in Krog Street Tunnel. Patrick again shot those as well, completely blew it away. That was released later on Saturday before the race. So all this was building up, and then we also knew we were going to do this with the vuvuzelas, the horns, and so we shot a lot of content around you interviewing people with the vuvuzelas.
It was crazy.
And so that's going to come out within the next day or so. So it's all been around, and other sponsors have been involved. We've had some other companies involved, but this was all our strategy around how to activate around a race in the U.S. We don't think anyone's doing stuff like this, and so we wanted to make sure that we were doing something that looked very distinct and different, especially for an independent rider. Independent in the race, but he's not independent outside the race.
Yeah.
And so that's
a big team helping him.
Yeah.
Actually, we're a small but mighty team helping him. I shouldn't say a big team.
And so and so if you're interested in seeing all this stuff, go to our Instagram, Speed Studio Global, and you can see that progression. And then there's also still photography of the Aperitivo event in the showroom as well. So all of that was planned out. All of that was coordinated with our other sponsors, and I think it turned out awesome. Like, I could not be happier. I've had so many calls from sponsors, just people that admire our work, and they were pretty blown away by it all.
Yeah. And, another main point of the party was to celebrate Speed Week and Athens Twilight, but it was also to kick off our partnership with Bosso that we've talked about in previous episodes. So we actually had 7 bikes lined up in the office to showcase the gravel bikes, the mountain bikes, and the different road bikes. And I think people loved it. Like, we've already sold some bikes, so it's
you get to put their hands on the bikes and squeeze the brakes and do all that
exactly
stuff.
See how light they are.
But this has been the evolution of the program, is like thinking about how, and we know that we can bring a different element of content creation and strategy that can highlight the community around bike racing in America. And there's not a lot of folks thinking that way. And so I think seeing this, and that's why I encourage people to go look at it, and you're going to see more throughout the year around these activations and around the content generation that we're pretty excited about. I think it might be interesting. I know we talked a little bit about the kit design, but what were you thinking when it came to like doing something different for the nighttime race?
Well, I think this whole program has been around showcasing. So at the beginning of the year, when we were talking to Michael and a couple of his other friends that are also pros out there racing on their own now, we talked about the importance of showcasing that there's other paths to success in the world of bike racing. And, I don't want to say that it's never been done, because I do think that I know that there have been guys and girls before us that have really, in their own way, like I think of Phil Guyman. Like, Phil Guyman is kind of the father of content generation when it comes to taking a career and turning it into a completely different career, but based around your love for cycling.
Friend of the pod.
Like, yep. I admire Phil so much, because I truly believe he's just one of the hardest working people, and to be able to pivot that, he kind of leads the way. I think of Pete Stetina, like leading the way with pivoting his career into gravel when he was in a world tour. I think of Ian Boswell. I think of
there's a lot of guys that have...
I think of Legion of Los Angeles. And look, I know that Legion is a polarizing team, but I would say they really started the content game off strong compared to other teams. Like,
definitely.
They were doing such different things when they were with Rafa, when they were, doing all these really creative video shoots and photo shoots. Like, I remember looking at them and thinking, wow, I want to be in a position where we can create content around bikes like that one day.
Yep.
And then I think of even PETA. Like, I was talking to her about, so she had a team called Rock Salt. They were out of Australia. It was a women's team. And when I first started riding, I thought their kits were amazing. I thought their content was amazing. And we'll talk more about that with her on the podcast. But the whole point of that is, I think there's been all of these people that have done amazing, incredibly creative things throughout the history of crit racing specifically. And now it's time, but it kind of stopped. Like, we hadn't seen anything in a few years, someone really creating some cool content. So based on the inspiration of people that came before us, I think it was really important to show that there's a different avenue besides just going to the world tour, or just even going on a normal crit team in America. Like, you can do it yourself. I think Michael is kind of the first pioneer, and our team is the first, our team, when I say, all of us working behind the scenes, on creating different type of content for one person.
Yeah. For us, I think what we're doing is we're applying what we would do with our client work to this world, which is thinking about the complete story and all the different channels in which you would utilize, and the mechanisms in which you would utilize that story. And so that's why it's not just what you see on the internet, it's also the newsletter.
Yeah.
And connecting with people through the newsletter, which we now know is probably the most powerful medium that you can have, is having a weekly newsletter, which is a huge pain in the ass and it's a lot of work. But it's a huge pillar in this storytelling strategy.
Well, and that's what I was about to get to, is our strategy around fun, because a lot of people say, oh, well, how do you fund the team? Do you just get sponsors? Because that's a big issue. That's a very difficult problem with cycling, is holding on to sponsorship for long enough to keep the team going year after year. And I think we have really come up with a unique model in that this is the big differentiator. So we're creating unique content. We are doing a really good job with the kits, making them very cool, very sought after. Then we have our membership club, which we do charge a fee to be in the membership club, but those fees go back to the program, to supporting the program. So we're essentially crowdsourcing. Like, instead of doing the traditional model of go out, get one big title sponsor, and then that pays for the whole program for a year, we're essentially crowdsourcing sponsorship from the community.
Yep.
So we make the cool content, guys and girls see the content, they want to be on the team, they pay for the membership goes back into the content making, into Michael's salary, and into making the program even more exciting. And so I think that virtuous cycle is something that a lot of teams haven't done, or I've really never seen anyone do it before from like a club model. And I think that's something that we're focused on continuing to build and continuing to encourage the community that is fans of cycling to give back. And it's not like you don't get anything out of the membership. You get a lot of discounts, you get a lot of access in the membership, you get
a lot of programming.
And
that's what we're constantly figuring out, is what's the program, what's valuable, what's not. And like, I think there's a lot of pros out there that don't want to do that. Like, they don't want to do the programming. And hats off to Michael. He's always willing to ride with guys. He's always willing to do events. But there's a lot of them out there, and that's always interesting to me, is that like, no, I've got to like stick to my training. I can't deviate from that. But like that programming, what we talking about programming, that's like a ride with members.
Exactly.
Like, that's a good example of
or
it.
even just engaging. So we created a WhatsApp group, which I think has been a really big success. So if you're on the team, if you've paid your membership, you get access to the WhatsApp group. And right now, a lot of the interaction is around the races that Michael's doing, and he goes on and he answers questions, he tells recaps, he does all of that. We're all chatting throughout the race, the live streams, and I think those little touch points, even though people don't think that's a big deal, they actually have a big impact on the experience.
Yeah.
And huge. So we're always thinking of like,
Connecting.
What are those little things? What are the little ways we can connect people back to the program?
Yep.
It doesn't have to be complicated or big. And so I think the horns are a good example of like, we're connecting people in the community back to the program by giving them something that they can hold, something they look at. And like, that's the most basic product placement marketing ever. But it works because people are trying to overcomplicate marketing nowadays. Like, it's too it doesn't need to be that complicated. You just have to find those little special touch points that engage people.
Just gotta be a good storyteller. Do we want to talk about like what actually happened at Twilight?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could actually give a better overview than I can because we were not in the best spot for viewing when it came to like understanding what was happening in the race.
Yeah, so I was in the pit. So there's a wheel pit with neutral bikes and neutral wheels and team wheels where a lot of the different team mechanics and directors are. So I was in there with Michael's spare wheels. We did have spare wheels, Bailey. And not only was I able to get that access, but then we also had a big screen and we could hear the announcers. So I got to see everything. A couple of big things happened. Like we knew, and this is, I know, a very controversial subject that's happening with Twilight right now. There were
there's a name for them, but
there's like a name for them. But basically, there were road obstacles on the backside of the course, and it's those poles that automatically come out of the ground that you see now. And I guess that's happening a lot in downtown areas. The poles were tracted to the ground, but there were 4 humps where the poles
turtle
were.
shell kind of things.
Yeah, like a big soft shell turtle.
Yeah.
And there was no way to make that flat. And so as soon as I went there, official came right up to me and she said, "Hey, tell Michael about these." Oh, that's the other thing. Last year, no one even knew who I was when I walked in the pit. This year, everyone knew.
Popular.
Yeah, it was.
You want to be popular.
Well, it wasn't me. It was Michael. And they're like, "Tell Michael this, tell Michael that." And so he came back there and we looked at them, and the officials said that there had been crashes every single race all day because of those things. So we said, "You got to be in the front coming through here," and he was like probably 5th wheel on the first lap, and then like maybe 5 wheels back, someone crashed, and it was one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. I have a video of it.
I'm glad I didn't see it in person.
I'm never putting it out there, but it's Noah Granigan from Blazers broke his hip. He had a femoral neck fracture, which I had in 2009, so I know what he's going through there. The exact same injury.
So everyone go on his Instagram and send him well wishes because that's a hard recovery.
Hard recovery. He was in extreme pain. They neutralized the race. And so they restarted the race after that because so many guys went down, so many mechanicals. And they figured it out after a couple laps. They figured out how to navigate it. There weren't any other crashes back there, but it made a weird thing for the race. And then pretty quickly 2 guys,
20 minutes in,
2 guys rolled off the front. And what I noticed is that even though there were multiple big teams, so you had Legion that effectively had 12 guys in the race. They had 6 guys on Legion, 6 guys on Golden State Blazers. But it's the same team. They all work together, and everyone knows that. Yeah, you had Cadence, you had Lucas's team, you had Foundation was up the road, but you had multiple teams that could have easily chased, and they didn't chase. And I think a big reason for that is because everyone's looking at Michael. And because the way I position is Michael's everyone's dream breakaway partner, right? And so they're all so intent on seeing what he's doing and following him that they just let these 2 guys lap the field.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the race was effectively over. I mean, Michael tried to attack and break away probably 20 times after that, but as soon as he moved, everyone would just jump on his wheel. And, he would have a split like several times through the race. He had a pretty big split, but there was like 6 to 8 guys on his wheel. He would pull off and flick them through and no one would work, which just is a very negative race situation. But he's just going to have to deal with that. I mean, it happens whenever you're a favorite and you're strong and you don't have other teammates. Like if he had another teammate when he flicks off, then his team and no one works, then his teammate could attack. But there's just very few guys that are capable of doing that. So, he was pretty disappointed, but we weren't. He put on a great show. Announcers talked about him a lot. And overall, again, the whole weekend activation was a huge, huge success.
Well, and I should say there are guys that can work for Michael. There are. But there aren't a lot of guys that have the personality that we need, because going back to the basis of this program, is media generation. It's media generation and experience generation so that people engage with the brand join the membership and contribute back to the program so that it's a flywheel essentially of a program. If we bring on guys that don't have that ability to be a personality or to interact with fans or to create media, it's kind of a sunk cost. And so when people, the only reason I want to say that is because people constantly come up to us and say, well, why don't you get this guy? Why don't you get this guy? He's strong. That's fine. But at the end of the day, strength doesn't really truly bring the dollars back in.
Yeah.
It's engagement. And winning is great. That definitely brings dollars in. But to Chad's point, there's not a lot of guys that will beat Michael or that could truly go off the front with or without him. So it's there's just not a lot of options.
Yeah,
So.
And that aren't on a current big team.
Yeah.
And, are taken care of. I mean, there's one in particular I think about, but well, he's listening. He knows.
Oh, I don't even know who you're talking about.
The one guy that we talk about all the time.
Oh, but he's not on a team.
I know. That's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you said that is on a team.
Oh,
yeah.
You'll have to bleep that out.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, there is one guy that could work for Michael. But again, like it
with Michael.
But again, like so. Before you ask us for the 100th time, why doesn't Michael have teammates? It's more of a strategy around can we get a return on our investment when it comes to a rider.
Yeah, so that was a busy weekend leading us right into a busy week. And I apologize. So many people have reached out, messaged, etc. If we haven't gotten back to you, it's just because we have been nonstop. And we're on basically 4 or 5 hours of sleep for the whole weekend. So we're packing up and we're headed to
Traka.
The Traka, which is a lot of people ask me, which is surprising. What's the Traka? The Traka is the largest gravel event in Europe. So it's like the Unbound of Europe. It's a 4-day festival in Girona, one of the world's most desirable locations for riding bikes. We will fly into Barcelona with our friend Dr. Alan McDonald. Always travel with your doctor is my recommendation when you do bike races. And then we will be heading up to Girona, which we haven't been to since 2018.
Wow.
And looking forward to getting back there. And we have a full slate of activities. We'll be meeting with our friends at Basso. We're going to be meeting with our former guests of the pod, Luke Lamperti and Joe, and it's gonna be fun few days.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Probably not a lot of sleep for the next week either.
Yeah.
If you are gonna be there, because I've seen a couple people already over there, and you're interested in going to any activations, Basso, look on their. I think they posted it on their Instagram.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of different events throughout the week and weekend that will be really fun. If you're not doing the 200K on Saturday and you're doing either the XL or the 100K on Sunday like I am, Basso is going to do a ride that actually is going out to cheer for the riders of the 200K. So I'm going to be doing that with Basso. So if you want to hang out with me or you want to hang out with the rest of the Basso family, shoot me a DM. Because I would love to ride with people.
Well, they're doing that Friday too for the 360.
And Friday.
So for the 360K is going on Friday.
How many people are doing the 360?
I think a lot.
Really?
I know it's crazy because it goes basically 2 days.
Because they start at nighttime, right?
I think so, something like that. And so we'll be doing that with Basso too. So Friday, Saturday will both be like rides to go cheer people on.
Yeah.
Saturday is my event, the 200K, and then Sunday is your event, the 100K.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're packing up and heading to France.
Yeah. Really excited. We're going to stop through Aix and Provence, which I think we already said in the last podcast. And then we talked about kind of bopping around, but I think we're going to make our home base in Nice and then just do day trips to the different areas. But we already have a pack. I've jam-packed our schedule, probably overextended ourselves a little bit, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll be doing some rides there too.
And running. I found some group runs.
Trail runs for Nikki. We've got a lot going on. So hopefully we will have an episode next week. Probably it'll be.
Yeah, we're going to try and record while we're there with some guests.
A quick intro, and then we'll have a guest, Peta Mullins, for next week. assuming PETA comes in later today.
Yeah.
And then we'll do probably a full recap the following week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned about the widespread power outages through all of Spain because apparently Girona doesn't have power.
Yeah.
So depending on the power and Wi-Fi situation, it might delay some of the editing a little bit. But we'll do our best to get it out, even if we're editing on the road with a hotspot.
Yeah, Luke Limperty is literally texting me right now about power outs and trying to get
really?
reservations. Yeah. There's a lot of people there, apparently.
Should we bring a tent to go camping?
Well, we got the Airbnb no matter what, but we won't have power.
But like, does no power mean there's no water either? Like, how does that work over there?
I don't think so. I think they have these old Roman aqueducts.
Roman aqueducts in Girona.
Everywhere there's Roman aqueducts.
Just like the old days, you just like take the bedpan, you throw it out the window and hope it doesn't hit someone.
It's like, remember in Rome how the water was just like flowing out of the little spigots and everything?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sure they've got water. We just may not have power.
Everyone's gonna be really stinky. Everyone's gonna be bathing in
they
the
have
ocean.
to have that fixed. This is one of those things where it just goes for
What
a
do you
couple
mean
days.
they're not like, oh, all the Americans are coming over for Traka. Let's hurry up and fix our power outage.
Traka's a big deal.
Those Americans.
Let's hope so. Or otherwise, we can just cross over into France pretty quick.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Look, if we don't hear from us, it's because we fled and we went to France. And yeah, anyways, it'll be good. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, so if you're going, let us know. We'll get together. We got lots going on, but let us know.
Please say hi if you see us wandering around looking lost or aimless. Direct us in the right direction. Say hi. Grab a cafecito, a coffee with us.
Oh, and by the way, Michael is doing the rest of Speed Week, so this will come out today. Mm-hmm. No, tomorrow. No, today.
This will come out today. It's Tuesday.
So today is Union City. I forgot what tomorrow is. There's Spartanburg. There's one.
There's a
Duluth.
new one tomorrow.
There's one in Duluth. Oh, it's the one.
It's the new one, but I don't know which.
I think it's in Duluth.
Yeah.
And so you can go to usacrits.com.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Speedweek.bike.
Speedweek.bike to check out the live stream for those races. It'll always be the last race on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting to watch. I actually like watching on the live stream better. I think we need to have a TV in our tent next year. That's what I've decided.
100%.
With the live stream playing, because again, we could only see part of it, and it was not as exciting from the tent.
I know someone who's an expert in that, Todd Freiberger. If you're listening, you want to come set up our AV audio visual tent watching capabilities. That'd be great.
Awesome.
All
Got
right.
a friend for everything.
Yeah.
All right. So look for this episode tonight, and then look out for an episode with Peter Mullins next Tuesday.
All right.
Over and out.